Hey guys, all right, part 2 of subject-verb agreement. This is just your quick reminder that we're working on subject-verb agreement and working on being able to recognize it and correct it. So our first video had been about regular subject-verb agreement, and now we're going to talk about the 6 rules around irregular subject-verb agreement, okay? Here we go. So the first rule is that when a subject is separated from the verb, you need to ignore the expressions that come in between when you decide what type of verb goes there, okay? For example, the politicians, along with the newsmen, are expected shortly. If we were to remove that middle phrase, that's how we can determine whether the are is the proper verb or the improper verb, right? We would say the politicians are or the politicians is, right? And that's how you would decide. Same with the second one. If we get rid of this, do we say excitement is or excitement are? Because if we said excitement as well as nervousness is the cause of her shaking, or is it excitement as well as nervousness are the cause of her shaking? Get rid of that and decide excitement is or excitement are. Okay, so all just about testing things out, but this is really in regards to that subject being separated from that verb. The second rule, the expression the number, it's like when the words the number is actually being used, if it's followed by a singular verb while the expression a number is followed by a plural verb. Okay, so again, just an example, when we say the number of people we need to hire is 13. So we used the phrase the number, which means we have a singular verb is. I don't know why my animations are off, I'm sorry. So we say the number is, okay? In the second one, a number of people have written in about this subject. We want to check on, we have this phrase a number, which means we need to have a plural verb. In this case, have is our plural verb. The third rule is that if a sentence starts with the words here or there, the subject comes after the verb. Okay, so in this sentence, we start with the word there. There are 4 hurdles to jump. Who or what is this sentence about? The sentence is about hurdles. Okay, hurdles is a plural subject. We have 4 of them. So we use the verb are. Or there is a single high hurdle to jump. We have a hurdle, singular, just one. Okay, so there is a hurdle. Okay, so singular subject, singular verb, plural subject, plural verb. The fourth rule, if the pronouns who, that, or which appear in the middle of a sentence, the noun directly before the pronoun becomes the subject. Okay, so Selma is the scientist who writes the report. Because we're using this word who, generally you would say this sentence is about Selma, but because we're using the word who, our subject actually is scientist. Okay, so again, if the pronoun who, that, or which fall in the middle of the sentence, then the noun right before that pronoun, the pronoun being who, that, or which, becomes the subject. The fifth rule, collective nouns, okay, such as team or staff, that's called a collective noun because when you use the word team, you're talking about all the members of one team, right? Or all of the staff members, we call them staff, and it's an entire group, a collective of people, okay? These can either be singular or plural, depending on the way in which they're used in a sentence, okay? So if we said the team is in a meeting, then we're talking about this being a group of people acting as one, all of these people in one space, okay? So the staff here is acting as a singular unit, or the team, okay? The team are in disagreement. Now we're talking about different members of the team, some people thinking this thing, some people thinking that thing. So we're talking about individuals within a unit, and so team in this case is plural. Okay. A note for those when taking the SAT is that the SAT considers the word none to always be a singular word only, but the dictionary says that, like team or staff, none can be both, okay? But just note that when you take the SAT, the word none is always considered singular, okay? The final rule is that with portion words, okay, like percent, fraction, part, majority, sum, all, remainder, none, okay, these are portions talking about an amount, okay? The noun after of is the subject. Again, like, I think examples are the easiest way to understand these rules, but also a side note, make sure you hyphenate all spelled out fractions, okay? But I'm going to show you multiple examples here, okay? 50% of the pie has disappeared, okay? Notice that because you're using a percentage, the word after the noun that comes after the word of is the subject. So in this case, the subject is pie, and so it's pie has. We have a singular subject with a singular verb. The pie has disappeared. 50% of the pies have disappeared. Notice now, after our noun that follows of is plural, plural noun, plural subject, plural verb. 1/3 of the city is employed. Okay, this is that idea of a hyphenated fraction, right? If we were to write that fraction as 1/3, 1/3, right? When you write that out, you use a hyphen. Okay, again, our noun that comes after the of is our subject. City is singular, singular verb. 1/3 of the people are employed. People is plural, are is plural. All of the pies are missing. Some of the pie is missing. None of the garbage was picked up. None of the sentences were punctuated correctly. Okay, so again, it's just all about making sure that when you use these portion words, that your subject follows the word of. Okay? Those are your 6 rules on irregular subject-verb agreement. That was a lot of information in 2 videos, but that's it. If you think you understand all of this, go ahead and move on with your lesson. If you're lost, go back through and review some of the examples in the videos. If you're super lost, as you know, check in with me.